Dee, you're a paralegal that deals with finances. I'm an attorney that deals with finances. Apparently, Megan on the show is into numbers. And because of this, Nick Lachey says we should know that season 9 reunion is going to be full of surprises, new revelations, and maybe even a chicken smoothie. I don't get it.
I don't think that's adding up.
Well, let's see if we can figure it out. Season 9, episode 13, The Love is Blind reunion. Let's watch.
Remote reality, yeah, that's the key. Unlocking stories wild and free. With the host, side by side. Channel surfers, let's ride.
Hey, Channel Surfers, welcome back to Remote Reality. And if you're new here, welcome to Remote Reality for the first time. We're a little bit new here. We've been around since April, and we're so excited that you're joining us. I'm Lauren, and I'm an attorney that loves analyzing things and loves reality TV and true crime.
And I'm Dee, her paralegal that she drug into podcasting.
Kicking and screaming. Yeah, Dee did not want to be on video, but this is the wave of the future. We're pulling her into 2025. So some of the legal work we do deals with finances and debtors, and that's where we come into numbers. We're kind of number nerds. Nick Lachey, I don't think he meant numbers. I think he was making a joke about numerology, but I did a little research because, you know, I love to deep dive. I'm a nerd. And the number 9 does not mean surprises and chicken smoothies and new revelations. 9, which if we're looking at the season number, would mean completion, universal love, humanitarianism, and letting go. So that's interesting.
Yeah, since nobody made it to the altar this time.
And it's the completion of a season. It's letting go at the altar. You did get, for the most part, kind of a sense that the cast all really got along and liked each other. Now, I said for the most part. We will get into that. And the humanitarianism, we're going to deep dive into this type 1 diabetes conversation. The Lacheys, you heard them tell Jordan that they're connected to it. So I figured out a little bit more on that. Now, if we look at Love is Blind season 9 reunion and look at the whole words, find an expression number, that number is 8. That number means power and authority, balance and justice or karma, material success and achievement, executive ability and management. Nowhere in here am I finding chicken smoothies or surprises or new revelations.
No.
But he didn't say numerology. He said numbers, and still not adding up for me. I think he's just being cheeky.
I think somebody else wrote it for him probably, and they didn't know.
Just reading what's on the prompt.
Yep.
This season 9 cast was bringing the looks. They really pretty much did it up for finale night, pretty much. First of all, Vanessa, her hair transformation, amazing. This host, she's the host with the most.
Yeah, she had a very classic Grace Kelly almost kind of look to me.
I said old money blonde. It was a short haircut. She had blonde highlights, still had a dark color, but like blonde highlights. Very elegant. I love that look on her. She looks so young. You're right, Grace Kelly.
Yeah, they're a very attractive couple. When I was looking at them sitting there side by side, yeah.
Nick was looking handsome too. Now they were in all black like this was a funeral, but
Well,
Miles Smith, I have never heard of this artist before, but I loved that song.
yeah, I had never heard of him either. It was a very nice song.
It's
I
called
liked
Nice
it.
to Meet You. It's from 2024. Apparently he's 27 years old, which means he was born in 1998. And he's I was like, whoa, that was 27 years ago. And he's a British recording artist. Now, I have to comment on this. I don't know if you notice this or have anything to say about it. His violinist, who is kicking ass up there, she looked like Shannon Daughtry. She looked like she was on 90210.
Gosh, I didn't even notice her. I never noticed these things. You notice all of this stuff going on in the
It
background and everything.
Crazy. I was like, oh my God, where's Dylan and Brendan?
Oh,
Yeah. Brandon. Anyway, it was uncanny, the resemblance. Now, speaking of looks, best dressed. Let's talk about our favorite. Who do you think the best dressed was for the girls and for the guys? Dee, What do you think for the guys?
For the guys, I really like Jordan. I thought he just looked like 007 sitting up there or something.
Very handsome, very
Yeah.
elegant. He was wearing a tux. It did still kind of give the wedding look. Did
Mhm.
anybody else wonder, is he just wearing what he wore to the wedding? Because he has like dad clothes, like the
Yeah.
white Reeboks.
Oh, that's a good possibility. I hadn't even thought of that.
Not that it didn't look great on him, but actually he said he's lost some weight since the season, and that suit fit him like a glove.
Yeah, he looked
Or that tux.
really good.
He
looked-
did. I was between Jordan, but my other favorite was Patrick. Patrick had on a brown suit. He had a white shirt that was slightly unbuttoned. That suit looked good on him. That was a good looking suit.
It was.
He was
And I
very
wouldn't.
polished.
Yeah, and brown I wouldn't think would look that good, but he wore it well.
Now, there were other outfits that aren't the worst dressed, but I think Edmond deserves an honorable mention here. His outfit, it was casual, but the way he wore it, it looked business casual. It was like a yellow shirt and pants with nice brown dress shoes. He had on his signature comb, but he really looked fashionable and stylish. He looked good in that outfit. He wore
Yeah,
it well.
Well, I mean, he just has his own style anyway. I mean, throughout the whole show, he's always been very iconic with his look and unique. Different.
Absolutely.
Yeah, very different from everybody else.
So let's turn to the girls. Which lady was the best dressed?
My favorite was hands down Madison. She looked amazing in that dress.
Now, when she walked in, she did not look happy. She looked upset, and I think she had an allergic reaction to something because her lips, they look like they were swollen, like they were 4 times the size of what they would normally be. What did she get into? Like, her dress was stunning, but she did not look like she was feeling well, and I was worried.
I don't know. She just looked angry to me most of the episode.
But her face, her lips were swollen.
Well, she's not the only one that I thought her face looked different. I also thought that Annie looked different. I could not pinpoint what it was, but I'm like, Annie does not look like she did on the show. Maybe she's lost some weight and her face is thinner or slimmer, or maybe it was the lighting making her face look slimmer, but I just thought she was she looked different.
Now, one of my friends thinks Madison just had some lip filler, so maybe that was it. Maybe she just had it done and they still haven't come back down to where they should be. But she just didn't look like she was feeling well, but she was beautiful. And that dress, Madison's dress, that color on her, the silver, it was like a sequence and it had a high slit up it. It also had some parts that were like skin colored mesh, so you could see
there was
very
like some
sexy
sheer or something. Yeah,
and her
it was
earrings were awesome. She was wearing it looked like glass slippers, very Cinderella.
Yeah,
stunning dress.
She looked like a bottle of champagne. Like, it reminded me like a champagne color. Yeah.
Yes. I love the dress. I have to say though, I had a tie, and Madison was one of them in the tie, just like Jordan. I had her tied with Casey. Yellow was a great color on Casey. I cannot pull off yellow.
I hate yellow.
Pulled it off well. And the neckline, it was so unique. She had a low neckline, but it wasn't a V cut. It was like a triangle cut.
Yeah,
so,
it did look good on her.
Yeah, I really liked that outfit. So I was tossed up for those two. Channel surfers, what do you think? Who are your best dressed? And for best dressed, although she's not one of the top, she's definitely not one of the bottom. Another honorable mention goes to Megan. That color green with the gold sparkles looked amazing on her. She looked like this tan goddess. It just really brought out her complexion. She had on a chunky gold necklace, which actually looked a lot like the one that that Allie was wearing. They had a very similar bracelet on, not necklace. And she had this ruching down the center of her dress. It fit her like a glove. Megan looked amazing.
Yeah. It was really honestly hard to pick a best dressed, and it was like a glam squad or something. They all looked so good.
And it was hard to pick a worst dress. We'll start with the guys again. Anton. Anton was my pick for worst dress because it looked like he was taking a nap on the couch and he just rolled over in his button down short sleeve black shirt with his gray slacks and rolled on over to the reunion.
Yeah. I think I'm going to have to agree with you there.
Not that he didn't look good. He's a handsome man.
Right.
My other worst dressed was Joe. Now, Joe can wear a mustache. That man, great mustache.
Yeah.
There was something that did not look put together. He was wearing a gray suit and a blue shirt and brown cowboy boots, which was pretty similar. Nick had gray suit, light blue shirt, and brown dress shoes. Nick looked put together, though. Something about Joe didn't look put together. Maybe it was the scruffy around his beard. A lot of people can't do a mustache, though. He did the mustache. Great smile. The outfit, though, I don't know if it was the material or what it was.
I don't know. I know how you feel about mustaches. So for you to say he looked good with a mustache is saying a lot because you don't like them.
Though.
Yeah, he did. He did.
Looked great with a mustache. All right. So for the girls, that was hard. The girls were bringing it. I went with Annie. And the main part of it had to do with the color choice. She was wearing black, all black. It was a silk dress. It had a high slit, had a cross neckline, and there was a cutout that showed some of her cleavage. The fit was great, but the color was so dark, and she has blonde hair, and I don't know. I thought, if you're going to go dark, maybe like a deep purple would have looked nice. Or maybe like a red or an orange color. The black was overpowering for her features.
I think I'm actually going to agree with you on that one too, because honestly, it doesn't even stick out in my mind. Like I can't remember what she was even wearing. So if it's not sticking out, it didn't draw my attention whatsoever.
Now, Kate also looked gorgeous, and I really liked her dress and the color of it, but it had these lace details on it, which kind of gave it like a grandmotherly vibe, even though it definitely was not a dress that grandma would wear. I mean, grandma's boobs would be sinking out the holes on the bottom because down to the knees. She looked awesome in it. The lace detail, though, I mean, it was just so hard. You had to be so nitpicky to pick out a worse dress here.
I agree.
Because they were killing it. So yeah, Channel Surfers, what do you think? This one was a hard one. Like I said, season 9 brought it to pick out even a best dressed or a worst dressed. I had to be super nitpicky because they all looked stunning. Stunning. What
it was nothing like Hunt for Love. I mean, we had definite winners and losers in that one.
Definitely. Yeah, these people, they have great taste, or they hired a stylist. I feel like some of them might have hired PR, but not Megan or Jordan. They are the epitome of dealing with a breakup with grace, which I can't say I've ever done like that. I usually just block, ignore. They're still communicating, still getting along, still showing so much respect for each other. Megan gives us a huge update on her life. And before she does, Nick and Vanessa are saying, Megan said she's not sure if she ever wants to be a mom. Before she even says anything, Jordan goes, she would make a great mom.
Yeah.
Just super supportive. We talked about this. We didn't think that not being ready to be a stepmom in 6 weeks when you haven't met the kid has anything to do with what it would be like to be a mother. We didn't have any judgment there. And she's a mom. She has a 2.5-month-old Brooks. And a few months after filming wrapped in April, this was in July, she started dating a man named Paul. We see Paul in the audience. He is handsome.
Yes.
He is good looking.
He has the amount of hair that you like.
You know what? Bald wasn't my type until I met my husband. And now I'm just like, oh. He's got a great face. He's got a pretty, he's a handsome bald. We're talking like Mr. Clean.
He was a very attractive man.
He was. And that
Mr.
baby.
Clean.
Oh my gosh. That baby. Cute. So cute, little Brooksy. Oh my goodness gracious. Their family pictures they showed, they are beautiful. And she kept this a secret.
Yes.
Like
that's hard to do.
Season.
Yeah, that is hard to do.
I felt like I knew every aspect of people's lives because they were going on Instagram and talking about it. I mean,
Uh-huh.
there wasn't much of a spoiler at all for this reunion for me. I probably know things that they didn't even talk about, but wow.
Yeah. Yeah. That takes some strategy.
And Nick Lachey said, you better watch out, Paul. Paul seemed to be a really good sport, just
Mhm.
laughing along. But this
I
has
think
given Megan more respect for Jordan.
Yeah. I was gonna say, I thought, Nick had a point. She's in the wrong fit profession. She should be like a spy or something like that, where she can, covert operations.
In the days of social media,
Uh-huh.
to keep that under wraps. Now, not completely under wraps. Jordan did know before the reunion
Mhm.
because some troll on Instagram reached out and told him this has to be somebody that knew Megan.
Megan. Yeah. Because he said they were trying to stir up
Stir
shit.
things up.
Mhm.
And Megan was very forthcoming. So I'm glad they had that conversation.
I think whether he had heard it through a troll or not, that she probably would have reached out to him
I hope
before.
so.
Yeah. I think she would have given him the heads up right before.
Now, also, Casey knew beforehand and kept it quiet. And that gave me some respect for Casey. If she just wanted attention and 15 minutes of fame, could have gotten
Mhm.
it right there. But that's a good friend.
Yeah.
That she was the only one that knew. Megan says that things didn't work out. Pretty much what we heard on the show, different
Mhm.
lifestyles, and it was fast. And she's fallen for potential before. She didn't think that was a good idea for a marriage. Just very mature, what we've seen from Megan this whole time. She said she wished she would have given Jordan more grace. Really being a parent and having that kid around 24/7 and understanding that
Mhm.
responsibility. Like you can, general idea about it, but until that's your responsibility, it's different.
Yeah.
Kind of like if somebody is like, somebody lost his spouse, you can feel empathy for them, but unless you've been through it.
Mhm. I think that, I lost my train of thought, what I was gonna say. I hate when I do
reach
that.
into your bra and pull it out, just like KB did.
Yeah. Here.
we got to start doing that.
I know.
KB, they go to talk to her at the end, and she pulls something out of her bra, and everybody's like, "Oh!" She's like, "No, I've got a bad memory." Same. Taking notes, KB. I'm on your page.
Yeah. What I was getting ready to say is I think
Got out of her bra.
having her own child probably has given her a new respect for Jordan and the position that he was in throughout
Yeah.
the show.
And she said it hurt when Jordan mentioned that he regretted Megan meeting Luca, but he clarified.
Mhm.
He takes accountability. It wasn't about you, Megan. Megan, you're an amazing person. This was my decision to go on this show. This was my decision to put Luca in this situation. And I regretted my choices to put him in that situation, but not you, and not thinking that you're a bad person. That not what he meant.
Yeah.
Huge. I mean, so genuine. That accountability, great.
Right. And
They're
thoughtful.
awesome.
And thoughtful. She needed to hear that.
She did.
Yeah.
And just, I don't know. I can't say enough about these two. The guys in the cast all seem to be getting along. Jordan is even friends with Mike and was hanging out with him after the show. I was surprised that they had a friendship. I was not surprised, though, that Mike told Jordan that he went on a couple of dates or a date with Megan.
No, I think that's one of the things me and you had actually speculated about at the end of last episode. We were talking about different scenarios, and that was one of them.
And Megan said, even though they felt this connection in the pods, it didn't translate into real life. Which we even hear some of the other couples talk about this during their reunion, like Allie and Anton toward the end. But Jordan, it's fine. No skin off his back. They're free agents at that point. Handles it great. Now, I mean, just everything. He even handles great when Nick Lachey asks him about Mike's type 1 diabetes comment and how it was misrepresented and inaccurate what he said in the pods. Vanessa says that she and Nick, that means a lot to them because of their family. So I looked into it. Nick's sister-in-law, Leah Lachey, she has type 1 diabetes, and Nick has a foundation, the Nick Lachey Foundation, which helps bring awareness on type 1 diabetes. So that's their connection to it. We talked a lot about this because I'm type 1 diabetic, and I went off. I was type 1 diabetic for 31 years as of the 26th of this month. And we talked a lot about this. Jordan clears things up. He has only been dealing with this for a few years with his son. So there was still some things that weren't completely true, like type 1 diabetes. It's not genetic like some things. There are factors that make you more likely to get it if you have certain genetic factors. They even say that early introduction of cow's milk or cereal can lead to it. But it is autoimmune. Having viruses, that can lead to it. And instead of attacking the virus, the immune system starts attacking the beta cells that make insulin. The way that I've had my type 1 diabetes described, so there's different kinds, but there's some that aren't genetic. And this is how my doctors say it, because I'm like the only one in my family with it. It's like if you got in a car accident and you lost an arm. You're not.
Oh, wow.
Down. Yeah. But that's not every type 1 diabetic. Just like every type 2 diabetic doesn't have to do with eating too much sugar, age, race, genetics. There are a lot of different factors. It's when your body doesn't produce enough insulin for what you're eating. And it could be sugar. It could be that you don't have enough insulin for your body type. What did you think of how Mike and Jordan squashed this situation?
Again, I thought it was awesome because Mike said that he made a big donation to a foundation or a charity.
Life for a Child.
Which is for the diabetes.
Yeah, I looked into that. He said Mike took accountability, committed himself to learning the difference, and he forgave Mike almost instantly. Now, oh my gosh, yesterday before I watched this episode, I'm in a type 1 diabetes group on Reddit, and there was a post about somebody who had just lost her niece last week, who was 8 years old, to DKA, ketoacidosis. Basically, she went into this, wasn't diagnosed soon enough. Her parents didn't know, and she ended up dying on her 8th birthday. And I've been diabetic a long time. I've never heard of anybody dying from DKA. I know it's very dangerous. I was fortunate. My grandfather had asked my mom years before I was diagnosed whether she should get my brother checked out, because he used to just down sodas really fast, like drinking a lot. And my grandpa told her it could be diabetes. So when I started drinking a lot and losing weight when I was 10 years old, my mom had that in the back of her head. So I never had to be admitted to a hospital. We went to the pediatrician, and then we drove that day 3 hours down to University of Florida, and I was seen there. They gave me insulin. They showed me how to shoot up and sent me home with insulin and a glucometer. And I mean, it was just went in, saw the doctor at the hospital, and left, the endocrinologist. So, yeah, I'd been reading that post before I saw this. And Life for a Child, they not only provide essential supplies like insulin needles, glucometers. It's not cheap being diabetic. It's you don't have a choice whether or not to have insurance. And if something bad happens and you don't have it, that's your life is at risk. I've sent insulin to people that are in those situations before. We definitely have a community where type 1 diabetics, we try to stick together. All that sugar makes it stick anyway. But also to bring awareness to type 1 diabetes so that children don't die from it. To let people know what the signs are and to recognize those signs. So if somebody is drinking a lot, they're urinating a lot, they might have a sweet smell on their breath, losing weight, tired, but I mean like extreme thirst, just go to the doctor. They gave me a pee test and saw I had ketones, and then they took my blood sugar. As somebody whose mom fortunately saw those signs in advance, I'm just so grateful that I didn't end up in the hospital with this ever. I've never been hospitalized for diabetes. So very, very fortunate. So know the signs. All right, I'm going to get back off my soapbox, but Mike, way to go.
Yeah.
There's
That was
so many.
I was going to say that was above and beyond. I mean, most people could have just done the apology and that would have been it, but he actually took it a step further and wanted to contribute, you know.
And having this discussion helps
Mhm.
educate people. I've heard that misconception so many times. People will still sit there and say, should you be eating that? And I'm like, I've been diabetic for 31 years. I know
Yeah.
what I'm doing.
Well, I think a lot more people are familiar with people that have type 2 instead of type 1.
Sure.
So that's probably why there's so much
But it's
misunderstanding about
very
it.
annoying to be 41 years old and have lived with this since you're 10 and have somebody that doesn't know you very well ask you if you should be eating something.
Yeah. Well, that's when
And
people
it
need to
happens all the
practice.
time.
Well, that's when people need to practice just keep your mouth shut. If this person's been living with it for their life, they pretty much know what they can and can't do.
We know how to manage it.
That's right.
That's my soapbox. Now, let's welcome to the landing strip
Oh my
Casey,
gosh.
Kate, and our favorite baby seal, Patrick. Dee didn't remember. She was like, I don't get it. What do you mean, welcome to the landing strip?
When she was
I had to explain to her it was Casey's pubes.
Yeah. I had completely forgot that.
She said she had a rough day on Zoom, but I had to remind her I've been dealing with the Department of Justice employees during a shutdown. So we've both had interesting days.
Yeah. My brain is just already
It's
it's
a fun
already
week.
fried.
This is the best part of our week being with you channel servers. We love you
Yeah.
guys. Now, Casey and Patrick.
Hmm.
I left this reunion believing Casey.
Really?
Yeah. Tell me what you thought.
I wasn't really sure, honestly. I still am just I still feel like he said, she said. I didn't come away with a clear, I believe this person over the other person.
But he said the same thing she said. Casey said, we got back. It was a Saturday.
Mhm.
I said, okay, on Tuesday, let's get together and talk about this. We've been through a lot. They've been away from their home for what, 6 weeks, 3 weeks, a month? They've been away from him for a few weeks,
I don't know.
at least.
Mhm.
Well, they're in the pods for 3 weeks.
Yeah, the pods I think were 3 weeks, and then it was another 3 weeks of them with the trip and then the apartments.
But they didn't go to the trip or the apartments.
True. But
So Casey and Patrick had been gone for about 3 weeks. So you've been through a lot. You've been through a lot of emotional stuff. She said she realized she didn't think she would be at a place where she could marry him. She wouldn't feel the attraction, the draw to him enough to marry him in 3 more weeks.
Mhm.
And she just needed to digest everything. So she says, I can't talk about this now. I'm still processing everything. I'm not going to give you the answer that you want if we talk about it right now. I need clear thoughts. I need to be back in my space. It's Saturday. Let's talk Tuesday.
Mhm.
Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday. 3 days from now, let's talk. And Patrick wanted answers then. He wanted to talk right then. He wanted to sort things out. And he said, if we have to wait until Tuesday, then we might as well just be friends and respectfully ask for the ring back.
Mhm.
And then you go to Patrick's side and he told the same story. What was different about his story? Except he threw in some party that happened after the fact.
Yeah. I don't know. I just kind of felt like, because she was talking about really a lot of the hate that she was getting on social media and stuff.
Mhm.
And he
Yeah.
was saying, that he didn't want that for her. And I just felt like instead of Patrick disagreeing with what she was saying, he didn't want to make that situation any worse for her. And I just felt like he was just kind of like giving in, that he wasn't going to argue with her about it.
Well, he said that. He said that is why he was doing it, to protect her. And he said she could keep the ring, but she actually brought it back and gave it to him.
Mm-hmm.
But I think this is where Patrick, I didn't quite believe him. I think it's his sense of humor. When he's telling his side of the story and how Casey didn't really talk to him during this party, which is what
Mhm.
was different that he brought up, he left out the part where he said, "What's up, ex-wifey?" He said, but I thought that was funny. And then she was talking about how people were sending her death threats on TikTok and how she seemed hurt that he had a stronger connection with Anna and she felt like she was second. And apparently Patrick responded to her being second with sending her a DM that she was the side chick. And he goes, that was a joke.
Oh, yeah, that's not cool.
And he said that was an emotional reaction. he wanted validation right then and there. He wasn't ready, even though he said he was ready. He wasn't ready to pump the brakes on this. He couldn't even give her 3 days. And then he starts telling stories to make her look bad, but leaving out the part where he's saying, come here, ex-wifey, and sending her these messages that he's then deleting. It's just, there was more to the story, and she was left to call it out. He was trying to protect her, but he was leaving out some pretty important parts as far as his accountability.
Yeah, when he made reference to saying that he was joking, she said it was a little too soon. And it was. It was too soon to be making those kind of jokes.
And that's a fast process for her to say, I don't know that I'll be attracted to him enough to marry him. Attraction can grow, but I mean, none of these people were ready to marry each other 3 weeks later. She saved them that heartbreak. She brought the ring back. And the reason she said she kept it is because when they were at the hotel, he said, no, you keep it. And the big thing is, he didn't even pay for it. Production paid for it. So what the hell is he going to do with it? Why does he get it back?
I don't know. He said that he told her, though, that she could keep it at that point because he thought they were going to continue to date each other.
You can keep a ring that I didn't pay for, and she intended to date him, but he's the one that ended it because she went and talked to him the Saturday that they got back. She wanted to decompress and wait until Tuesday, and he wouldn't wait, so he dumped her.
Right. Well, I mean, I know, I think Allie mentioned that production paid for it, but when, when Nick made a reference to it, he almost said it like jokingly, like that's not what happens. When someone says, oh yeah, sure, kind of.
Production gives them $5,000 for a ring.
Okay.
Something I knew before coming into this because I've seen this stuff. I've seen the TikTok.
So production gives the guys $5,000 to go to the ring. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, maybe there's a possibility he added to it and that's why he wanted it back. I don't know. But I mean, traditionally,
you hurt her. He's sitting there saying, if you're not going to talk to me about this right now, then I want the ring back. I want to hurt you because you aren't immediately talking to me, which that's not a good idea. She is absolutely right. If you are not in a good headspace, do not have that important conversation with your partner. Wait until things calm down. And she's not saying, I'm never going to talk to you. She's saying, I will talk to you in 3 days. This isn't some indefinite thing she's leaving open.
Yeah, I don't disagree that if you want to wait until you're in a better headspace to have the conversation, then yes. What I'm saying is, traditionally, doesn't the ring go back to the guy anyway? If an engagement is broken off and they don't get married, does it not go back to the guy?
I think that's a legal question, and that depends on the state. South Carolina, ring is a gift that it's a conditional gift. It is conditioned on the marriage. The ownership of the ring does not transfer to the wife until marriage.
Okay.
But in some states, it's not that way. You give the ring legally belongs to the other person.
Yeah. Judge Judy.
Just think about the things. Think about the things that happened. I mean, I got engaged. I had a ring. I had just moved my business when he cheated on me with this kid's babysitter. I had moved my law practice that I had in business for years and years 3 hours away. Like, I was losing income because I was restarting. I gave up a lot and took the financial hit for it and gave the ring back.
But, what I was thinking is too, like with my son, I had given him my ring to use for the engagement. Yeah. And if they did not get married, I wanted that ring back. That was family.
But Dee, we're talking about your family ring. We're not talking about production giving him $5,000 on a TV show.
We're talking two separate things then, because I was still on the conversation.
As traditional as that might be, or whatever
that's
legal
what I
things,
was getting ready to say.
We've got a whole different situation. This is not traditional. There's probably a legal aspect to it. Which I don't know what it is for Colorado.
It would be interesting to know. It would be.
So I am not licensed in Colorado. I am not an attorney in Colorado. I'm a South Carolina attorney. I've not taken a Colorado bar. And this is not legal advice, but it appears that in Colorado, they also have a conditional gift, but theirs is a little bit different than ours here. It depends on who ended the engagement.
Mhm.
The person who ended the engagement or was at fault does not get to keep the ring. So in that case, if Patrick, did Patrick end the engagement? She
No,
said she was
she
going to
did.
work on it. She ended the show, but he broke up with her before they could talk. This would be a good court case. But I think we would have proof that he ended the relationship on a text.
Interesting.
Very interesting. But whatever has happened between them, whoever side you decide to take, it's not okay to go to anybody and tell them to go kill themselves online.
No, not at
Never.
all.
These are edited shows. They sign documentation that tells production they can represent them with that film in any way production wants to, regardless of whether it's the truth. So they cannot go back and sue production if they don't represent them in a truthful way. They waive that right. So we don't know everything. We didn't know everything coming in. We're learning things as we go through this reunion. And regardless of whatever happened, do not be complicit in telling somebody to end their life.
I just don't understand why people say things like that about anybody.
For a show that we enjoy watching. And if that drama wasn't there, you would hate the show. So be grateful that these people are bringing the drama.
I know. That's the only reason why I like to watch this stuff is the drama.
I mean, thank you. Thank you, Casey, for putting yourself out there and giving us the wild ride. Thank you, Madison, because I'm telling you, I would not have enjoyed watching the show if it was not for Madison.
Yeah.
And Annie. I mean, those ladies, you made the show. You made it fun to watch. You had us sitting on the edge of our seats wondering what kind of stuff we were going to see next. It was fun because of the drama. And I just really appreciate it. I really appreciate that they put themselves out there and do this. And it's for our entertainment. And thank you. Thank you.
Yep.
It's not easy for them, but thanks. Even Patrick says that he thinks Casey is a good person, and she does apologize and gives Patrick the ring back. Again, she's like, should I throw it at him? Which I thought was hilarious because she was like, you're not going to admit that like you have a horrible sense of humor. I have to call this out for you. And then she makes a Lord of the Rings reference. I feel like Schmeagol with the ring, which I kind of love that nerdy side of her. And then I love the basketball side of her. My friend texted, she goes, the basketball part was so boring. I loved it. I love playing basketball, first of all. I found myself cheering for Casey. Like I wanted Casey to beat Patrick at basketball.
I just wanted to see who won.
And there was a pro basketball player, CP3, who was there, and he's a big fan of the show. I thought it was so cool. After they finished, he looked at the cast. He was like, I'm such big fans of all of yours, which just has to be so exciting for them. I would be excited. The only time I've ever been starstruck was meeting a sports player, Alshon Jeffrey. Anyway, that's a whole nother story. But I didn't even know what to say. I was like, only time. So CP3 has this idea, whoever wins this basketball match gets to keep the ring. And you hear the audience is cheering for Casey. And I think the reason that this is important is because they do this basketball thing before they ask her about Joe. So you've got people cheering for her, kind of taking her side. You see her and Patrick hug at the end. You even see more of their connection there. Patrick played basketball. Casey obviously kills at basketball because she beat Patrick's ass. So you see where they would have a connection. They enjoy the same thing.
I don't think it was his idea to play for the ring. It didn't.
No.
Yeah, it was not something he wanted to do.
No. And Casey even said, Patrick said, I'll give it back to you when we get to Denver, which gave me ick vibes also. It was almost like, if you want this, you have to go out with me.
Oh, see, I was thinking it was just him trying to have a way of not giving the ring back right then and get out of giving it back.
You with this ring?
Well, I don't know. Maybe he's going to save it for the real one. Who knows? The one that he really marries. It's a $5,000 ring, okay?
Yeah, but he's not getting $5,000 back from it.
No, but I'm saying
if he goes and pawns it, you are not going to. Anyway, we know
No.
because we deal with the value of
No,
rings.
if it was me, I would just take the stone and reset it into the new engagement ring for my future fiance.
Well, I'm glad that you aren't giving anybody a stone.
That's what I'm saying. If I was him, that's what I would be thinking. It's a $5,000 ring. So he's going to recycle. He's just going to recycle.
Okay. Well, we will give him a point for environmentalism. Although he should go cubic zirconia if we're doing that and not blood diamonds. Anyway, he said that. It was kind of icky to me. And Nick and Vanessa are like, no, we're not doing that. No, give us the ring. We're going to give it to Casey. And Casey is going, it's okay, Patrick. Like, I don't need it back. But they kind of, I don't know. It was weird. This whole ring thing was
I'm
weird.
telling you, he didn't want to give her the ring on the show. He didn't want to give it back to her. That's what I'm thinking.
Maybe he's struggling for money. I don't know. He said it wasn't about money. It's strange. The whole thing is strange. Casey, she date anybody else on the cast? She's sitting behind Edmond, Joe, and Jordan. And she says, one of these guys in front of me. Now, I already knew because I saw an interview with Joe's girlfriend, Avery.
Mhm.
So I already knew all of this. Did you know who it was?
I knew that it was Joe. I had saw some stuff on social media right before, like it wasn't a couple weeks ago. It was like right before the reunion show. So it was earlier this week.
I wonder how many people were sitting there like, oh, please don't be Jordan. Oh, please don't be Jordan.
I know.
Vanessa makes a joke. She's like, oh, Edmond, you dog.
Dog.
So funny. But yeah, Joe's like, yep, I can't hide behind this mustache. It's not big enough. He is so funny. I still think Joe is hilarious. Him and Jordan and Edmond, and they all seem to be really good friends. And Jordan keeps blaming everything on like his faces, his not understanding. He's like,
ADHD. He
That's
keeps
it.
blaming everything on ADHD. It's my
"Got
ADHD.
He's like laughing. Him and Joe are talking the whole time.
That's my
buddies.
problem too. It's all ADHD and menopause, one or the other. I can't remember shit. Do stupid things, say stupid things.
Same. I just talked to my psychiatrist this morning. And she's always laughing at me. I'm like, I got to turn this form in, but it'll take me 2 seconds. So of course I put it off for a month. And she's like, oh my God, you
I
again.
manage your calendar. I know your procrastination.
That's how you're my boss. He tells me when I have to do stuff.
I'm like, look, I've moved this
like,
for 2 weeks.
deadline
You've got
is
to do
up. It's only going to take you an hour to knock these 10 things out. Why are you putting it off? I'm like, it's only take an hour. Anyway, Casey and Joe, about a month, 2 months after filming, they started going on dates. And they went on dates maybe for like a month and a half. They weren't dating. Avery said that Avery agrees. So Joe's girlfriend in this interview said that things didn't overlap. But like Joe explains, it was on again, off again. She wasn't even sure she wanted to date Joe. So I think it was on again, off again with both. There wasn't overlapping though. But it's like as things were finally ending with Casey, they started up with Avery. Like more stable. So her story matches theirs. Not how Madison sees any of this.
Of course not. Madison.
Madison blames Casey and her actions and Joe and his actions for the end of her engagement. Because the night before Joe broke up with her, after the tux fitting, they all went out and Casey was there and she had 2 paws on Joe's chest. And then all of a sudden, out of nowhere, Joe breaks up with her the next day.
Yeah. She had googly eyes for him too.
Oh, yeah. Joe kept telling her about the googly eyes and they
Yeah.
had a conversation about that. Now, how do you think that discussion went when the night after the tux fitting, they got home and Joe was telling Madison that Casey gave him googly eyes? How do you think that discussion went with Joe and Madison?
Like all the other discussions with Madison goes, an explosion. She probably went nuclear. But it also explained why when we were watching it and they were doing the breakup, she kept saying that it was about last night.
What do you mean?
She was saying, is it because you met other women or so? She didn't point fingers at who specifically, but she had mentioned him meeting someone the night
The
before.
singles.
Yes.
I think she scared the shit out of him, like she had been doing the whole time.
Well, I mean,
and he already was panicking about the tux. Nick Lachey said he was panicked that day because of all the stuff she's put him through. And then she goes into, oh, why didn't I know you were freaking out the tux? Why didn't you let me in on that? Is she doubting it happened? It is on camera. What's the point of asking?
He's not letting her know because he can't have a conversation with her without her going nuclear. He just shuts down every time he has had to tried to have a conversation with her, an honest conversation about his feelings. She blows the hell up.
And even later, she goes, I can't get a sentence out of Joe.
Duh.
That's when he tries to talk. You blow up. This is why he didn't tell you about the tux, too. You're like, why didn't you tell me? He said, I just wanted to have a good night with my friends. If you're listening to Madison, she said she had friends that were about to be flying in town, or Annie had friends that were about to fly in town for the dress fitting. So she was letting them know, don't fly. So I'm sure these people were from out of town. Joe doesn't want to ruin his night fighting with you again. And he's telling you, Madison, Casey gave me googly eyes so that he's not hiding anything from you, so that he was aware of what was happening. He's like, this probably not appropriate or whatever. Like, he's not hiding it from her.
I'm just sitting there thinking, okay, we know why you're not getting full sentences out of him, Madison. We watched the show. Have you not watched it? Are you still not, are your eyes not open now? Have you taken the rose-colored glasses off and seen yourself for the way that you really are in this show?
What is she on that makes her lack this kind of self-awareness? Because I want to try some of that.
Me too. Serve me up a couple of them.
Casey, she's like, no, this did not happen when you were with Joe. I saw him after the breakup out with the guys. He was devastated. Then we find out that after the breakup, Joe and Madison went out to dinner, which I'd heard about this, and they were making out and he was crying. And he says, yeah, I was crying because I still had feelings for you. It was a complex situation. And that's still not enough for her.
We've seen this whole show that Joe is one of the few that it takes him a while to process everything each step of the way, from meeting her to, the trip to the apartments. He's been very open about that it takes him a little while to acclimate to each one of these changes. So,
and I'm not usually somebody who says guys are one way, girls are the other. That's like completely opposite of me. But one thing I have noticed that with a lot of breakups, guys tend to feel the hurt later. Like girls feel it all on the front end, and then down the road you see the guy being sad longer. And that's what this breakup with Joe reminded me of. He's like, at first I couldn't process it, but like that night it hit me. Madison, then she goes into this whole, you shouldn't body shame me, not in this day of age, which, first of all, he didn't say anything about her weight. He didn't say anything about her size. They were talking for 5 minutes about their types. And he said, not that I date skinny women. I usually date petite women, which to me, skinny and petite are two totally different things.
Petite is height.
Sizes mean you're short.
Yes.
My mom's family is petite. My grandma, short. My aunt, short. My cousin, short. Dee, you're petite. You're short. I'm 5'7". I'm not petite. My mom is 5'8". We're not petite. It doesn't matter how skinny I am. I'll never be petite because I'm tall. Madison is a tall girl. That's how I would take that. And like Joe says, it doesn't mean I wasn't attracted to you. All we did was fight and fuck.
Exactly. Fight and fuck. I thought that was hilarious. F and F.
Have you heard that before?
No, but it was the truth.
We went on a trip to Vegas years ago with a couple of friends of ours. couple of couples. I went to law school with one of the guys and a girl he was dating, and then another attorney that was my mentor and a good friend of mine and his wife. So we go to Vegas, and the guy I went to law school with and his girlfriend, they were joking about it, but they were like, all we do is fight and fuck. And it was so awkward for the other ones because we're like, oh my God, they're fighting. And they were like, oh my God, where are they?
Now they're fucking.
Yep. Not anymore. But back then, that's what was happening. It was awkward, but it was like the joke of the whole trip. Whenever we didn't know where they were, we're like, oh, they're fighting and fucking. But yeah, like we could tell he was attracted to her the whole season. And you know what? When he said that part, that was the closure she needed. This whole thing was about her self-esteem. He didn't, if he's saying, I usually date petite women, that isn't saying you're ugly. I'm not attracted to you. You guys are talking, you might have been saying, yeah, I usually date ripped, muscular guys. Well, that's not Joe.
Well, I mean, for all
I usually
know,
date taller guys. Maybe not Joe.
Well, that's the reason. That's what I was just getting ready to say. He may, I don't know what his height is, but maybe he's a shorter guy. So he prefers girls that are shorter than him.
I could see Madison being like, I date guys with bigger dicks.
I'm surprised she didn't say that.
She might have. I don't know. I don't know anything about Joe.
She just had a very angry air to her through this whole reunion.
And she's probably getting a lot of hate online. Again, do not hate these people. I don't hate Madison. I love her for this drama.
Yeah, she brought it. This would have been a boring show without her and Annie.
The Academy Award goes to Madison. And it's edited.
Yeah. Oh, well, no. I mean, Edmond brought some drama for us too.
The only other thing, Kate is friends with Joe's new girlfriend, which Avery talks about that on the podcast. And she says she knows Madison too. And they're acquaintances, like they don't have any beef with each other. So, but Madison, I lost some credibility for her when she twisted the Eskimo sister comment.
Yeah.
And was acting really pissed off when to Casey's face, she was saying, I'm glad we talked about this. And then she's saying, oh, I thought ew when I found out you were dating him. And she goes, yeah. Like she's trying to make levity of it. We're Eskimo sisters. And yeah, that's her fiance or her ex-fiance. But they would have been broken up for a few months at this point. I mean, I guess it still would be hard to be over that, but this person isn't also coming to you with some fairy tale. Apparently, Casey's coming to her at this party talking about how much Joe hurt her.
Yeah.
Which, to me, that would make you think, man, we really both dodged a bullet here.
It should have been a bonding experience, which is the way I think Casey took it until Madison was acting like she was on the reunion.
And I think the only explanation for Madison acting that way is that she really blamed Casey for ending her relationship. She does not take accountability and her part in it. To her, Casey's the reason that she's not engaged.
Yeah, well, that's the reason why I said I can't believe maybe she hasn't watched the season. I don't know, but honestly, you would think if she watched herself, she would understand exactly why she's not engaged.
Why does she have to watch herself? She was there. She know what happened.
Well, apparently she's not looking at it that way.
And maybe it's that. Maybe there's a lot of stuff that Joe did off scene. But even at that, when Casey is saying that she and Joe didn't work out and she was hurt, she's saying it's because she had feelings for Joe that didn't seem to be reciprocated.
Right.
It wasn't that Joe was a terrible dude.
Right.
But at this pool party where the whole Eskimo sisters thing came up, Casey's saying there was no drama between me and Avery because Avery had come to the party. Now, this is where I started to question Kate because Kate is sitting there going, oh, yeah, Joe and Avery went there together. And Joe's like, you invited Avery. Don't make this out like I was with Avery at the time. Don't get me in trouble at him. And Avery said she decided not to go to the tell-all because she knew there was going to be some drama with Madison and she was like, you know what? I just don't need to see it. It's okay. It's fine with me. Past is the past. She's cute too. She's brunette and kind of reminds me of Vanessa Lachey a little bit with the the hair.
Mhm.
But it's funny because they asked Patrick, they're like, let's hear from the other side. He goes, I don't know. I thought we were just at the party getting drunk and having fun.
Yeah.
So there's all of this flirting apparently, and all of this drama. And Patrick's like, I don't know. I didn't see it. I was
Mhm.
drunk. So there's one ex's reaction. And then later on, when they're talking about Kate and Brendan, actually, we'll get to that in just a minute. This all comes off the hands of the Nick and Annie conversation, and Kate. And Kate and Annie have different versions of what they experienced Nick as. Annie understands what it was like to have two serious connections because one of them was Brendan. And she says that in this experience, it is high pressure. You're supposed to move things quickly. So the feelings come quickly. Even the transitions to her come quickly, which makes sense.
Yeah.
But then for some people like Blake, they don't. Or Anna, there are people that left the experience. Casey did not see herself moving that quickly to the altar. So yeah, it's supposed to be
Mhm.
fast, and for some people it moves fast. So I understood that. Kate was attacking that fast movement of Nick's. That was part of what she was going after. But she was saying she just felt like she was being love bombed. And he was telling the same thing to both women, things like, 10 feet underground. And she felt like it was manipulating and it was insincere, which, to be fair, she told him that in the pods. She didn't fall for it.
Mhm.
So whatever she thinks Nick was trying to do, it wasn't working on her. So later on, when Kate says, I can see why women don't trust men, I'm like, well, why would this affect your trust? You didn't fall for it.
Supposedly, she didn't fall for it. Maybe she was just trying to act like she didn't fall for it and playing a game, or something like that in the pods.
Now, she's not wrong. I was saying the whole time, this man sounds like ChatGPT.
Mhm.
And not even like he went to ChatGPT and then edited it later. Oh, look, it sounds like he's reading straight from the chat bot. Didn't even try to change it. Annie felt, though, that Nick was more genuine, whereas Kate felt like Nick was a performer. We had that feeling about Nick performing.
Mhm. We discussed that for sure. And I think we even mentioned where is he getting some of these lines from because they were horrendous. Like, they're lines. I don't know how they're even falling for him in the first place.
I felt like Annie was looking pissed at Kate the whole time.
Yeah, I think that there was a little bit of maybe some animosity between the two of them. I mean, everything was very I think
Short with Annie.
yeah.
Now, Nick and his chat GPT world, I mean, this is one of the people that probably went and hired PR. He is taking accountability for everything. Annie's letting him off the hook, and he's like, you can throw me under the bus. I did it. I love bombed you. I suck. I've learned.
I don't know. I feel like his accountability's coming from Chat GPT too.
Right. It didn't feel genuine like Jordan's did.
Yeah.
Maybe he's just very intelligent and he has a very good
Really?
vocabulary. No, because
Really?
it seems like cliche things stitched together. I don't know.
Maybe he
I
should
don't
have
date
taken
Nick. I don't.
maybe he should have taken some time to write some stuff down and pull it out of his bra.
That would have been such a good idea.
Yes.
We all need to take a page from KB's book.
Yeah.
Queen KB.
At least
I'm going to start stuffing stuff in my bra, as I remember.
At least if he had been genuine, by taking the time, even if he couldn't remember it, he could have just pulled it out of there and just,
You know, I have to say, though, do you ever stuff things in your bra to store it?
Are you kidding me? Like, have you forgotten I'm itty bitty titty committee?
Okay.
Like, that is not a habit that's
I
even
do
in my
this.
realm
Liz,
of existence.
my friend Liz does this. I have lost money in my bra. Like, I take off my bra and, like, money falls out.
There's a
like,
50.
dang.
Here we go.
There it was. Liz used to lose, like, she's like, where's my lighter?
No shit.
Where's my hack? Like, so it'd be in her bra. So that would be the danger. Like, I'd forget something, but I would totally just lose it. My brother like, oh gosh, and it's like stuck to the bottom, falling out when I go to shower.
I can see Liz now. She's pulling. Oh, here's the
Well, it's
VHS
so funny.
tape from
Whenever she looks for
1987.
something, she always taps her boobs first. Liz is like, where is it? She like taps her boobs. I love it. I do it too sometimes because I store my insulin pump in my bra. Where is it? Anyway, Annie and Kate.
Here's the Cheeto I lost in 1998.
Girl, I've showered since 1998.
It's a joke.
Like maybe since 2005.
You might.
So Annie and Kate, they have the same taste in guys. They both like Brendan. They both liked Nick. Annie, maybe she's mad that Kate went on a date with Brendan. I don't know.
I think that Annie is mad because Kate, was it Kate that was his first choice? Or was that Patrick and Casey?
You're right.
Yeah.
You're right.
Yeah.
That's how the edit made it look. Yeah.
Yeah. That Kate was actually his first choice, and then he went to Annie.
Now, Kate, again, I think she lost a little credibility with me here because the way she twisted, no, production twisted, but production made it seem like Nick was saying that Kate and Annie were both his number one. And Nick goes, yeah, but that was day one in the pods when I said you're both at the top. So, and she knew that. So for her to like take that same twist as production, that was kind of ick.
Yeah.
Just to make Nick look bad.
Yeah, she had some butthurt feelings. She was.
And Nick, he's like, look, I don't know how to date two different women. I don't think he knows how to date one woman. Bless his heart. He's just struggling to get by, Annie. He didn't know the rules here. He blurted it out. He said he hated himself as soon as he said it, which was like, well, that's some intense feelings. I hate myself that I told this person I love them. And Kate's like, I still don't know if this is genuine or ChatGPT.
We're with you, Kate. We're with you, Kate. We don't know either.
I don't even know if Nick knows. He's just trying to figure things out. It's okay. We all get confused with love. Annie, even in a moment of indecision, we see her trying to pull Nick back in at the end of the season. Like, no, you can't leave me, which now she acknowledges that I should have let him go. But I was just thinking we haven't had enough time to sort through this. Just give it a little more time, which I get that. I thought it was very quick for Nick to cut her out. Like he gave her one warning and then the next time she did something he didn't like, she's out the door.
I think that maybe that behavior from her might have been a trigger for him from something because, he was very specific in saying it the first time that he did not want, so maybe past relationships or something.
That's a great point.
Yeah.
I bet you're right.
Yeah, because I mean, look, if you've been in a relationship, let's just say hypothetically for 2 or 3 years with somebody that acts like that, and then you get out of a relationship with them and you meet somebody else that says the exact same kind of things and acts the same way, it's going to trigger you. You're going to be like, whoa, I need to put the brakes on right now. I'm done. I'm gone.
And you got to heal first to decide
if
that's trauma affecting you or not. And in the middle of this, Joe apologizes to Nick about his drunken outburst. And Nick was like, it's cool. As soon as I saw it, I texted him. I was like, dude, don't worry about it. No problem. No harm taken. You've got enough to worry about.
No shit.
Edit was like, man, mine's bad, but Joe's is real bad too. So the guys are all getting along.
Yeah. Joe's roast was a highlight. It's one of the highlights of the season.
And Nick offered to give him his hat. He's like, I'll give you my hat.
It was a good hat, he said.
Good hat. So Casey apparently has ruined another relationship, according to Kate. Kate said she went out with Brendan once, and then the whole group got together at a party at Casey's, and Brendan was just all over Casey. Casey was all over Brendan. Casey's like, no, I wasn't.
That never happened, she said. She said it never happened.
Never happened. Knock that shit out right now. Kate is over there smirking, and she's like, Patrick was there. Patrick goes, don't pull me into this. I don't know what you're talking about.
Do you think maybe Kate and Madison conspired to just throw Casey under the bus as much as they could and maybe even make up some stuff to make her look worse?
Or they're intimidated by her? And
well, she's beautiful,
she's
but
very,
they are
she's
too.
beautiful, but she's also very friendly.
Mm-hmm.
I could see her like talking to the guys about basketball or talking to them about Lord of the Rings and them like laughing about the Schmeagol, whatever with the ring, and
Right.
then being like, oh, she's flirting because she's being friendly. And
Yeah.
being friendly, it's a way of flirting. But if you're a friendly person, I mean,
Yeah.
geez,
Not everybody takes it.
I'd be flirting like 99% of my life with everybody.
Yeah.
Okay,
Well,
maybe not 99%. There is the Nether Lauren from Minecraft that can commit.
I just feel like they're kind of being a little catty with her
Yeah.
any opportunity that they get.
It's the twisting part. It's the way that, you know,
Mhm.
we were seeing Kate twist a story around, even with Nick. When they misrepresent little things about the truth, it calls into question what the truth would be on the big things. It's like a
Mhm.
trustee once said to one of my clients who showed up at a bankruptcy hearing and he had one of those yellow Lance Armstrong bracelets on. It wasn't my client, actually. I was at a hearing because I always list, I make sure to cover the bases. But this person had not listed jewelry. It definitely was not my case. And the trustee said, what's that on your wrist? You didn't list that plastic rubber band bracelet for jewelry. What else didn't you list? If you are going to sit there and say, oh, well, you know, you were sitting there saying we were both at the top. And then Nick was going, dude, that's day one. Or you're Madison sitting there saying, this is the reason my engagement broke up, and not acknowledging everything else. If like the little things are what you're clawing onto, I don't know. To me, you question the big things.
Mhm.
All right, that's my ramble. Anton and Allie. Anton's dating somebody else. She's in the audience. She's cute. He only met the friend who pulled Allie into the bathroom to tell her about the strip clubs twice, which we said that. We were like, how much does she even know Anton? She's been dating his friend for 4 months. He's been out on the show. We speculated that they really didn't know each other. And then Allie and Anton revealed that they never even talked about the strip clubs.
I know. She looked so pissed when she came out of the bathroom in that scene and sat down with him after finding that out. And to find out they didn't even have a conversation about it, I was like, you've got to be kidding me. I don't think it was as big a deal to her as she was letting on, apparently. I mean, why else would you not have the conversation?
Even her explanation for why it mattered wasn't logical. She was saying that it's fine for some people, but he had come back to religion. And okay, so that the fact that he used to go to strip clubs means he's not religious.
Yeah, it didn't.
And you're not getting mad at him for that. I feel like this was a way out. Maybe it was the drinking or something. And then they go to this place and they're drinking even more. Apparently, production only buys them 2 drinks when they're out with family and friends. So anything else they have to pay for. Whereas with some events, they just like keep the alcohol flowing. So, you know, maybe there were other red flags. Even during the show, she goes, this person probably didn't know Anton very well, like on the wedding. So I don't know. It feels like an excuse. And she says, said the moment that she lost this for him was when he was wearing flip flops at the honeymoon and the way he walked.
I honestly can say I can relate to that because you know how I am about feet and stuff like that. So, I mean, she said walking, but if I seen him in flip flops and he had ugly feet, I've been like, no, I can't look at those feet the rest of my life.
I can't relate to that. I live in flip flops and
I do too.
I love at the end how production trolled that. Did you notice that? They show Anton, and it wasn't flip flops. These were Nike slides, black Nike slides. And they show him walking, and they show him sitting in the swing with Allie sitting across from him, just giving him this look. So they show the moments that she's saying she lost the connection in all these images and videos of Anton in his flip flops. Good job, production. Good job.
That's good. Yeah.
Allie, she said she did want a guy that would support her at least through school because that's her culture. And she said that's Anton's culture. And that's what they had talked about, that she would stay at home, you know, with the kids. So I don't really know how that came up, though, because it seemed like he was going to support her.
Yeah, I got the impression from that conversation that both of their cultures, it's just common that the husband is the provider and
Right.
taking care of the family. So
And he was agreeing to that. So I
Yeah.
don't even know why that became an issue.
Yeah, I don't know why it would have been an issue unless she was making reference to the fact that she understood that was their culture, but she wanted to work. She wanted to have her own money. She didn't want to be someone who just stayed home and cooked dinner and all of that crap, waiting for the husband to get home. She wanted to have a career.
Now, the big thing here was she says that he was a totally different person outside of the pods, which I was thinking that makes sense. In the pods, he's well rested, he's not working. Out of the pods, the guy's working a 14-hour night shift and he just wants to come home and veg out. That's real life. That's one of the problems with the
Exactly.
pods is the pods aren't real life.
Right. And I'm assuming that that's the reason why they do live in those apartments for a few weeks before the weddings so that they can get a taste of real life.
But a few weeks still.
Yeah.
It's just not enough time, in my opinion. Allie, when she's asked if she's dating anybody, she says, I appreciate your interest, but my personal life, I want to keep it personal right now. So she ain't talking. But let me tell you, her hair, I loved it. I
I
loved
did too.
her hair black. It made her
Yeah.
features pop. Allie was popping. She looked great.
She did. And I mean, she didn't really have a whole lot to say at the reunion.
She didn't.
And even the way that she said, I mean, it could have been taken so wrong or rude as if somebody else had said it. This girl just has a way of saying things like, even if she was being a bitch, I don't think you would know she was being a
Right.
bitch because she just sounds so nice with everything she says. And even her mannerisms when she was getting aggravated with him, you couldn't tell she was actually mad.
She's very composed.
Yes, very.
Like Jordan. Reminds me a lot of Jordan and Megan.
Mhm.
Edmond and KB. What do you think about the crying? I'm going to say Crygate. So KB thinks he's manipulating her. Edmond says, no, this is just how I feel. What are your thoughts?
I can see why it would seem manipulative, but at the same time, I also kind of have a feeling like that's just his emotional reaction to not getting things that he wants
Or
necessarily.
to fear that
Avoid
somebody is
a-
going to leave him.
Yeah, or
Because she
to
says when he cries, he like gets on his knees and says, I love you, please. Like he
it's
doesn't
ki-
want her to leave.
Yeah, it's kind of like an overdramatic reaction to having to deal with it like in the moment. Like if you don't want to deal with something, I'm just going to cry kind of thing.
And I think it's a trauma reaction to being a child and
it's
getting torn
possible.
away from his mom time and time again for
But
foster care.
what it reminded me of is, my son was ADHD when he was little, and I'm talking like toddler stages. And
I've got one of those.
yeah, and he would have these outbursts, like just throw something across the room or, something like that. And he didn't even have to be mad. And the psychiatrist was explaining to me that it was just this buildup of emotion that would just overwhelm him. And that was his outlet. He could be happy. He could be sad. He didn't have to be mad. It was just an overwhelming amount of emotion, and that was his release. And
Well,
that's what Edmond made me think
But
of.
that's a child. And this is why. So I'm not a psychologist. I'm not a psychiatrist. I'm not trying to diagnose. But from what I understand, when you have trauma in the moment, where you're affected by it, you go back to that place that you
Mhm.
were when you were traumatized. So like if you had trauma when you were a child, you might be speaking like a child. Like you might have
Mhm.
this baby voice. If you had trauma when you're a child and the trauma was foster care is dragging you away from your parents again, and you're saying, please, mom, please don't leave me, and crying, when you feel like somebody's going to leave you, maybe you go back to that place in your childhood and get on your knees and beg,
Yeah. That's a good possibility as well.
which is very sad to think about, like
Yeah.
what he's
I
been through. And Nick Lachey goes, look, I'm an emotional guy. I cry. How do you know this was manipulation? And that's the part. What is manipulated when she's telling him he's being obnoxious and he gets down and cries and says, please, I love you. what is he manipulating her to
Well,
do in that point?
I was under the impression of listening to her that she was saying anytime she tried to have a serious conversation with him about an issue, this was the reaction she would get.
Mhm.
So even if she's kindly saying, you're being
Which
really
she was.
obnoxious, then this is the reaction. Like she can't have the actual conversation and get anywhere because it's always ending with the cries.
And I think he's right too. Like she said, it could be right both ways. He is not trying to manipulate her. I don't think a lot of manipulators are trying to manipulate anyway, but this is just his reaction to somebody pulling away.
Right. I agree. I don't think people go out in their life to manipulate.
No.
I don't think that's what he was doing. I think it was just his reaction to whatever trauma or his way of avoiding completing where the conversations were going because he was afraid of where the conversation was going to end.
He's afraid that he'd get left.
Yeah.
That makes sense. KB also broke my heart when she said she thought she came off as angry in this season, like an angry
I
Black
didn't
woman
think
in that
that.
stereotype. No, this whole season, we have praised KB for her
Patience.
Yes.
The
just
way
like,
she handles him, because I would have just lost my shit on some of those scenes that she had with him. And she was so nice with him and so patient.
she had more patience and kindness in her than almost anybody, arguably than anybody on that cast.
Yes.
Megan and Jordan had a lot of patience and kindness, but they weren't going through the shit and the trauma with each other that KB was dealing with. I did not if that was angry KB, this woman must be a fucking angel. Like I already thought that.
I just wish she
I
could
can't
see.
even imagine.
No, I just wish she could see herself through our eyes because she was
whole
I
season.
was so
We
envious of
loved
how she
her.
handled that.
And we just talked about how we could not handle the situation the way she was and how graceful she was and kind and loving. So I hate that she thought the edit showed something else and that she looked like an angry Black woman, which is a stereotype. There's this game I play on my phone and they have a character in it that is Black. I don't play the game on my phone anymore because I'm just like, this one character is always angry. It's like this matching game, and this character just sits there with this angry face because you're not matching fast enough or something. I was like, I don't like this stereotype. But no, KB, we love you. We don't think that you are an angry person at all.
We want to emulate you.
Right. And
seriously,
that is a horrible
had
stereotype. And I feel horrible that you feel like that was portrayed. I just thought they showed a beautiful human being in both her and Edmond.
Yeah. I was shocked to hear that she felt like she looked like she was angry because I just did not see that at all.
I mean, she is just beautiful inside and out. When she came out in that dress, I was like remembering just how beautiful I thought she looked all during the season. She's a gorgeous woman inside and out.
And
seeing her mom in the audience just made my heart flutter. I was so excited to see her mom.
Not only that, I think that KB is probably, of all of the people on the show, the most genuine and able to articulate it in such a beautiful way. Because everybody else you
intelligent.
See, you see everybody else struggling to find words and things like that. And she just says it so genuinely and so beautifully. And I'm just like, wow. Yeah.
And in a way, she's intelligent and speaks like she knows what she's talking about without sounding like Chat GPT. Nick.
That's right. That's
Nick,
what I was trying to make.
Ask KB, be like, KB, what do I say?
I think it's amazing because I'm one of those people, the madder I get, the less I can articulate. I get down to where 2 words, fuck you, is all that comes out of my mouth because I am so mad I can't think of anything else to say. So I hugely admire her.
And Edmond says he felt like he never heard the good things. Even if she said the good things, he might just hear the bad ones louder. because of what he's been through. But I thought Vanessa was kind of like a therapist here at the end. She's like, say something nice about each other. KB says, I'm so glad I went through this with you. And Edmond, and she's like, I saw this as a trial marriage. I was sticking it through. I was going to see where it went. And Edmond said he never could get his girl as good as KB if it wasn't for this show. And she's like, give me a hug. And I was a little shocked that they hadn't talked since, because they did seem like they were still going to have each other's backs. I hope that they're able to rekindle a friendship, because they really did seem to
it
might
might
for each
be,
other.
it could be something where it would be hard for him to just be friends. If she wanted to, be friends and be there for him as a friend, it may be hard for him if he's still, in love with her or wanting a relationship with her or something. I don't know, but I kind of see that.
It's been a year and a half.
Yeah, but I mean, sometimes you love people forever, even if they're not in your lives.
Yeah, I don't know what that's like. Just kidding.
Unfortunately,
My
I
grandparents.
do. Unfortunately, I do. So,
yeah, but you could be like Cody Brown and love a lot of people. Anyway,
shut up.
that is it for Love is Blind, except for everybody gets protein ice cream, but not with chicken for Jordan's birthday. And Blake surprises them and brings it out, which Jordan looked like he was more in love with Blake than anybody else on this cast.
There's so many.
Happy.
I think there's more bromances than anything else on this show. Like, forget the marriages. It's bromance season.
Like Edmond's hugging Blake, Joe's hugging Blake, Jordan's hugging Blake. They are like the happiest quad ever. And that's it. And scene, we got Anton's just lying around his flip-flop.
Oh gosh.
So we have done your first Love is Blind. Are you a fan of the show now, Dee?
Yes, I would probably watch it again. I have to say, this was the nicest reunion I've ever seen, because I'm used to Real Housewives and their reunions.
Yeah,
so when I hear reunion, I'm always psyched that it's going to be like this,
sometimes it is.
Throwdown.
You're right.
And
this was a pretty kind reunion.
Yeah. It was very sedate. I was expecting a much more throwdown than what I got, but that's okay. It's just because I'm used to Real Housewives, like I said.
Well, channel servers, thank you for listening to Love is Blind. We will see you on Sunday with Sister Wives and Tuesday with 90 Day the Other Way. And maybe next week we will drop some sort of surprise on you, since we are now done with 90 Day. But I mean, I just saw a Netflix documentary about a lady serial killer.
Oh, interesting.
It's called like Aline or something like that. I don't know.
Oh,
so
I think I know who that is. Was it in Florida?
I don't know. You know her?
Is it Eileen Warris or something like that?
I just saw the name and the lady looking crazy, killing people, and it sounds amazing. Channel surfers, we will be back on Monday. Y'all have a great weekend. Happy Halloween. I got to get out of here and get to my kids' Halloween festival, which starts in 7 minutes. So I'll be a little bit late, but you guys have a great weekend. We'll see you in November. Bye.
Let's ride.